bring them over here. I don't even know by name. It's in the G sheet.
Yeah, we are. But the Jeffs need to be seated so they can be
businesses get a fair shake, and equality and inclusion are the foundations of respect. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating this milestone birthday with me. I'm truly... Good evening. I want to welcome you to this special broadcast featuring friends, supporters, and neighbors that have come out to celebrate my birthday with me in downtown Hollywood. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the love, support, and donations that you've given to me and this campaign. You know, when Jeff and I joined the fight for marriage equality in 2014, we did it in part because we wanted to get married. But what we learned in taking an active role was more about the responsibility we had to the couples and families we were representing, and to the legacy we were going to leave behind for our son. This campaign was launched out of that spirit of service to others, a calling I felt since I was very young. It showed up when I was a leader of student organizations in college. It showed up when I worked in tourism and when I started my own company. And it will be at the center of everything I do if I have the opportunity to represent you in the Florida House. As a candidate, the question I get asked most often is, why would you want to go to Tallahassee and serve in the minority with a majority that is anything but helpful or rational? But they miss the point. It isn't just the need to stand up for our values and our families in Tallahassee and to fight bad law with every fiber of our being. It's also about setting an example and about serving our constituents. It's about building the party by supporting and mentoring others and making a place at the table for everyone. It's about planning for and working for a future in which Democrats win everywhere and we turn Florida blue. I've spent many years building organizations like BNI Broward or the Downtown Hollywood Business Association or the LGBTQ+ Council. And now I'm spending time building the Delmay for Florida campaign to not only win this seat, but to win the future. We continue to need your help, so please consider making another donation, volunteering to knock on doors and phone bank, and help us build the resources we will need to speak to voters and to turn out the vote. Lastly, as you hear from our supporters tonight on this broadcast, listen for the themes that are at the core of this campaign: an economy that works for everyone, well-funded education for our children and youth to succeed, an environment that is protected, and neighborhoods that are hardened against the impacts of global warming, and a sense of community where healthcare is an affordable right, small businesses get a fair shake, and equality and inclusion are the foundations of respect. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating this milestone birthday with me. I'm truly grateful.
An event fundraiser here in Hollywood, Florida at Schwab.
I have one over there. I'm good.
So happy to have you join us virtually in support of Todd's campaign. I'm sitting here tonight with Todd's husband and campaign manager, Jeff Delmay.
Hey Jeff.
How are you?
I'm excited. What a night in Hollywood.
I mean, when these two came to me and said, listen, we're going to do a birthday party fundraiser and then we're going to live stream it, I said, great. And then they said, would you host it live? And I said, oh, okay. So here we are. So welcome.
Anything
welcome.
for a live stream, right?
Exactly. But the reason we are here tonight is, of course, to support the campaign of Todd Delmay for Florida House Seat 100, to raise funds for the campaign and to hopefully get a lot of great donations from people out there. We know this campaign is going to be a long haul. The primary is not until August of next year. However, the way we can show strength for the campaign is to raise as much money as possible in the early months to really send a statement to the community that Todd is here seriously as a candidate to take this race. One of the things we want to make sure that's really important to know is that if you've donated some in the past or made a donation, you think, oh, I'll donate closer to the campaign. We really need you to maximize your donations now as early as possible. The contribution limits for the campaign are $1,000 for the year, and you can also donate to the Political Action Committee. Correct?
That's right.
How do they do that?
Well, basically, you just reach out to us, and we can work with you and send you a link to go ahead and get that done. It's a little bit different with the political committee, where you actually do need to write a check, and that's called New Leadership for Florida. Hopefully I got that right. But definitely just reach out to us on delmayforflorida.com, and we can point you in the right direction. So
you're the spouse of the candidate.
I am.
What did it mean to you when Todd came home and said, hey, I'm going to run for political office?
It was wonderful. I mean, I couldn't think of anything that's more perfectly fit and suited for Todd. He is a born leader, and that's one of the things that I was attracted to him about him. And he told me very early on in our friendship, our friendship too, that he wanted to do this. We didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know what seat it was going to be. But when he finally figured it out, it was like full speed ahead, and we're going to go for this. And you know what? I tell people the best thing I could have done is read Michelle Obama's autobiography, Becoming. That's prepped me to be a first spouse. And I'm really prepared for that. The next read I need to do is Chasten Buttigieg's book, right?
Absolutely.
But I was just nothing but supportive of it. Clearly, it's a long road ahead, like you said. It's going to be challenging, but I think it's really important. It's important whether it's my husband or some other, born leader, LGBTQ leader, what have you, for us to be represented.
Speaking of representation, obviously Todd, when elected, will be the first LGBTQ parent in the Florida legislature. And to those viewers who may or may not know, Jeff and Todd were also the first couple married after the stay was lifted for marriage equality here in Florida. So both of you have been activists, but what do you think this means for representation for the LGBTQ community?
Well, people like to see themselves in their elected officials, like in their leaders. So we have so many wonderful LGBTQ plus parents in this state, in the country. They may feel like they may be hesitant to run because they're worried about exposing their families. They may feel hesitant because it hasn't been done before. They don't see it. So to actually see a gay man in office representing them, who also is a parent and can show that he can juggle it all, he can balance it all, I think is really, really important.
Well, I mean, anybody who watched that campaign kickoff video, and I've seen it more than a dozen times, and I've lived a part of that with their lives as close friends. It's very touching, and it tells a story. And I think Todd's story and your story is very important, not just here in Florida, but across the globe, really, to tell that story of what it meant when you first got together, weren't sure if you could adopt your son legally, and really making those moves.
Yeah, absolutely. And marriage equality, it really taught us that there's a lot of work to be done. We had that great accomplishment, but we realized and recognized very quickly that it doesn't stop with marriage equality. There's a lot of work to be done. And we live in a blue area of Florida, but there's a whole other part of our state that really, where we're not represented, but we are living. We've got LGBTQ plus people all over the state that are not in blue areas. So we need to get as many of us in Tallahassee to really, help those people, not only in our district, but all over the state.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited to be here tonight. We thank you for sharing your story and sharing your husband with the state of Florida.
I know, right?
We all need him, and we're excited to enjoy the party tonight. And we're going to go to the next video.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for being here.
All right, enjoy, everybody.
I'm Todd Delmay, and if this year has taught us anything, it's that the Florida legislature rarely focuses on the things that matter to us. Well, for some, it can be a very simple thing to get married. You go down to the courthouse and you fill out the paperwork. For us, it wasn't so simple. We had to fight for it. And we felt like our neighbors and our community didn't understand the real importance of marriage equality. We had to fight it in the legislature, and eventually we had to fight it in the courts.
I'm lifting the stay.
And we had to put our life out there and on trial in order to get what we really deserved and what everyone in our community deserves. I'm running for the Florida House because it's time that we speak up boldly and passionately for our progressive values, that we lift up green jobs in our economy, that we address climate change along our coastal communities, and that we support strong public schools so that children like my son can get a great education. Well, the pandemic has been a real impact on our family. First, we saw it with our son. To see him separated from his classroom and his friends was really challenging. In terms of business, because I'm in the travel industry, we saw an immediate loss almost entirely of everything that our business was doing. But there are so many businesses like ours that was under 10 employees. These businesses are falling through the cracks because they don't have the kind of access that a larger business has. It doesn't feel like the legislature cares. They have their own priorities and they're not addressing the real needs of everyday citizens. And yet it's in moments like this when we need people to be even more engaged. You have to be able to pull people together, but you also have to be able to listen to what the other side is saying and to be able to find common ground. There's always common ground on any issue. It's a matter of how willing you are to work at it and to make it happen and to find it. I feel like I'm uniquely situated for this moment. Not only my experience in fighting for our core progressive values, my understanding of business and how that relates to the travel industry and all of the things that are important to our coastal cities, but also to my proven ability to speak up and speak out on civil rights issues. I've proven that I'm able to fight bad law and get it changed, get it overturned. And that experience, I think, is invaluable, makes me the right candidate for this moment.
Well, welcome back to everyone out there in our virtual audience tonight. I'm happy, proud, and excited to introduce our Mistress of Ceremonies tonight, Francesca D'Amore. Just a little brief introduction of Francesca, who is also a very close personal friend. Francesca is a community activist, and she's served in many social services and nonprofits. Currently sits on the board for Safe Schools South Florida and our own Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council. In 2020, Francesca was featured in the film Open Dialogues, Stories from the LGBT Community, which was done in partnership with the Hollywood Arts Academy here in downtown Hollywood as a project to support the LGBTQ community. And she's also being featured in an upcoming documentary as well. So welcome, Francesca.
Thank you, glad to be here. Isn't this great?
It's exciting.
So much buzz and excitement going on. I'm so proud to be part of this movement, of Todd's insight to the future. It's just a great night.
What do you think it means for the LGBTQ community to have people coming into politics? Obviously, you know, we've seen the big headline names, Buttigieg and other people, but what does it mean more for local, state representation?
I think at the grassroots level and also the state representation, it's so refreshing to have candidates that will be in our corner. We have so many issues that we need to clean up and clear out.
Yeah.
Issues that all of us are like, why is this even an issue? So it's important to have a representative who can understand because they've walked the walk, they've talked the talk, and you know what I love about Todd is his platform is so expanded to so many different things, you know, from green energy, the green movement. He's just wonderful.
You know, the attacks on our community are sometimes never ending. Just today, I believe, a bill was introduced to eliminate any type of surgery assignments for the trans community in the state of Florida.
Right.
Why do you think these attacks continue, even in the face of overwhelming support from the general population for LGBTQ Americans?
So, if I understood correctly, it's about minors, right?
Yes.
This bill.
Yes.
Again, I don't understand why, you know, but I think it's a pretty horrible thing because, you know, trans kids need to express themselves and they need to they need to go through the changes they need to go through at a young age. So
Yeah.
basically, the politicians are telling kids, you're broken, you're wrong, there's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
And that's just going to catapult into more socio-economic problems down the line. So it really makes no sense to me. And we live in America, we all have rights. You know?
And the violence in the trans community was, at a all-time high level last year. The Black trans community took the brunt of that.
Exactly.
I think that having these conversations and bringing these topics to light is so important. And Todd's campaign, I think, is going to do a wonderful job at that. So I ask anybody who's out there, the viewers, make sure you go out and make donations. If these are issues that are important to you, whether you live in Florida, whether you live in California, wherever you may live, having representation in our state is good for everyone.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on what you were saying, it's really unfortunate that the trans community is subject to so much violence, and especially trans women of color are particularly so vulnerable, and we really need representation to end this madness. It's just madness.
Well, we hope tonight is a step in the right direction. We're getting
I think
Todd.
so.
We thank you so much for being here. We're looking forward to you being here later in the show.
Mr. Sing
tonight.
later.
Mr. Sing us later and gracing us with your presence.
Awesome.
And we love you. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Garbage disposal leaks, we get you paid. Electrical fire, we get you paid. Shower pan leak, absolutely, we get you paid. Hurricane and storm damage, we get you paid. When you've got damage in your home from a leaking pipe to a destroyed roof, Triumph Consulting is here to get you paid. We're here to fight for your insurance claim through the entire process and get you paid. Call Triumph Consulting 954-592-7162 or visit us at WeGetYouPaid.com.
WeGetYouPaid.com.
One thing we all need to face, if we're lucky, is growing older. And as we do, we'd all like to stay in our own comfortable homes as long as we can. That's why I'm here to visit with the company Home Instead Senior Care that's changing the face of aging by helping seniors do just that. Hi, Dinah.
Hi, Hunter.
What is Home Instead Senior Care?
Home Instead Senior Care is what's called a non-medical in-home care company. We send caregivers into the home to help seniors stay independent and live out their last years in the family environment of their own home.
And what does a caregiver do?
Sometimes they do shopping, sometimes they do light housekeeping, reminding seniors to take their medicine on time, remembering to drink, stay hydrated, get proper nutrition, and, but most importantly, have some fun.
Of course, because they're people. They have to enjoy their life as well.
Exactly.
Are you looking for caregivers?
We're always looking for compassionate caregivers. So if you know someone that might be interested in a second career maybe, we provide all the training. They really don't need any experience.
And what makes Home Instead Senior Care different from others?
A lot of companies are very task-based. Yes, the laundry needs to be done, the floor needs to be mopped, but we are more about building that relationship, building that trust, and becoming a trusted member of their family. We really take pride in matching our caregivers. For example, if we have a vet, we try to place them with someone that has some military experience, so they really do have a lot in common.
Well, great, Dinah, thank you very much. We're in Sue's home, so we're gonna go meet Sue right now.
I was born in Oak Park, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. I was a flight attendant for almost 30 years. Since my husband died, it's been lovely to have friends in the building. Melissa's a sweetheart, an absolute sweetheart. I love her. We've taken walks around the grounds. We've talked a lot. We get along very well.
I've been with Sue for about a year. We like to go shopping. We call it our little adventures. Even if it's Publix, there's an adventure. I make the joke if someone says, "Do you work tomorrow?" I said, "I don't go to work. I'm visiting a friend." It's not work for me, it's fun. Something that I always do to make my clients happy is really listen to them, because you're in their home. So you're always there for your client. It's their home, it's their way, and you gotta learn, and I learned from her. If I knew someone wanted to be a caregiver and do this as a profession, I'd say you have to have kindness, you have to have patience, and you have to look at it as it's not just a job. This is not something you just do for a paycheck. You do it because you love it, you do it to make friends, to make a family member, and to actually connect with someone. It's not a nursing home environment, it's their own home, and you have a better connection with your client.
I wouldn't want it any other way. I love staying in my own home, and it's nice to have help that comes in to help me when I need it. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me, because I was alone. And now I'm not, so it's great.
Hi, I'm Dinah from Homestead Senior Care in Hollywood. Homestead Senior Care provides professionally trained caregivers who make it possible for your loved one to stay at home and get the care that they need. Call Homestead Senior Care, 954-505-7957.
Well, welcome back, everyone, and we got to learn some information about Homestead tonight, and we have the pleasure of having Hannah Cook, who is the general manager for Homestead. They are based here in Hollywood, Florida, and they are an agency that provides services for seniors for in-home care. They are part of a network of 1,200 franchises, the largest in the United States, and across 14 countries as well. And the reason we have Hannah here tonight is to talk a little bit about why is Todd an important candidate and how does the healthcare industry fit into the whole picture of your business?
Yeah, it's great to have someone like Todd who will speak up for us in Tallahassee and fight for home care is not considered a health care right now, so their insurance doesn't necessarily cover it. And with the baby boomers all aging out, starting this year, we have 10,000 seniors every day in this country, so we really need to provide services for them.
What is the, when people think, they're going to need services when they're older, what type of things do you provide for seniors, when they need that kind of care? Because I think a lot of people don't think they're ever going to need it, and then you can probably give a good story about that.
So one of the reasons we're not considered healthcare is because we're non-medical, but we provide all the things like getting you to your appointment, medication reminders, bathroom reminders, meal preparation, cleaning your home, all the things that will help seniors stay healthy and in their home longer so they don't have to go to the hospital.
I don't know the statistic, but I think even just not taking your pills on time is a huge contributor to senior health.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
One of the bill that's obviously in Congress right now for the infrastructure bill is including expansion under Medicaid and Medicare for home health services, correct?
Yes, they're fighting for Medicare Advantage actually will cover our services, home care. It's just very limited right now, and seniors, especially here in Florida, we're a snowbird state, we have a lot of seniors and they just really need us, and I know Todd will fight for those things, yeah.
I'm a financial planner, and obviously one of the things we stress with clients is how expensive this type of care is.
Absolutely.
What is the average that people end up spending when they need health care? Do you know? Again, it can obviously there's a wide range, but it's we know from a planning standpoint, it can really put somebody in financial ruin if they haven't done proper planning.
A lot of people think that they're going to leave an inheritance and they're unfortunately forced to do a reverse mortgage or something like that to provide for themselves because they didn't provide in advance. Yeah.
For Todd being a candidate and obviously speaking on behalf of seniors and for these health services, what are the things that you would tell people who are voters about why you want to support this, an expansion of a social service? Because some people are visibly against some of these expansions. Why do you say it affects everyone?
Well, quite frankly, we need to take care of our seniors. They took care of us all, and that's why they're here. And now they're just kind of left out there floundering without any services or help, and it's very important to take care of them.
Again, my parents are obviously baby boomers, and it's an issue that now it's not for seniors. It's really for our generation because we're going to be faced with those problems to help our families, really. So I think it's very important. Well, I really appreciate you being here tonight. I really appreciate you being a sponsor, and as we're asking everybody, if this is an important issue to you and Todd is a candidate that you want to support, whether you're here in Florida or anywhere else out there watching, please make a donation, and it was great to meet you tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Take care.
Hi, friends. This is former state representative and Equality Florida Senior Political Director Joe Saunders. It may be hard to believe, but it's been less than 10 years that the LGBTQ community has had representation in the Florida State Legislature. Despite attacks from the far right every session, 10 years ago, we had never had one of our own sitting in chambers, literally elbow to elbow, with lawmakers who hold the power to deny our families' rights, demonize our youth, and erase our experiences. And this did harm. Unchecked, far-right lawmakers would spin lies and caricatures about who we were and who our families were. But in 2013, the year my colleague David Richardson and I took office, we broke through that lavender ceiling, and the process and the Capitol changed.
Over the years, the torch of equality has been passed to LGBTQ elected champions, and now it's time for that next generation. Year after year, these champions have proven the adage that when we don't have a seat at the table, we're probably on the menu. Our history teaches us that it's our LGBTQ champions who carry the water for our community. It's our LGBTQ champions who lead the fight to beat back the worst while we build towards the best. That's why I'm so excited to share that Equality Florida Action PAC has made an unprecedented early endorsement of Todd Delmay for Florida House District 100. We've never endorsed a candidate for state office this early in an election cycle, but we know that this is a critical moment for Todd. In a tumultuous redistricting year, Todd Delmay is a breakthrough candidate our community needs, and we cannot miss this chance. As an activist and community leader, Todd and his husband Jeff have walked the walk. Todd's helped to create jobs and support our LGBTQ-owned businesses. He's helped the city of Hollywood grow by showing community leaders the power of leading through the lens of inclusion, that our diversity is our strength. And of course, Todd and Jeff's service led our state to the freedom to marry. When elected, Todd will be the first LGBTQ parent in our state legislature, an historic legacy to claim in a state once notorious for its ban on adoption by LGBTQ parents. Our community needs Todd Delmay in the Florida legislature. We need to fight for this seat, not just for Todd, but for all of us. We need him there to beat back the bad and to help build towards the good. I hope you'll join me and Equality Florida Action PAC in lending your support.
Well, welcome back, everyone, and I'm very happy to have Courtney Ortiz here with me tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about education, but just to give you a quick background about Courtney. Courtney is a mom. She is a business owner. She's a former teacher, and she's the current vice chair of the PTSA. Is that correct?
Vice president.
Vice
but
president.
We don't need to, it's fine.
Yes. And she has worked in the school where Jeff and Todd's son Blake was a student. And was going to speak to us a little bit about why it's so important to Todd as a candidate for education and what are the issues and why are you supporting Todd?
Well, first of all, I think that it's really important to have somebody in the state that's a parent, right?
Absolutely.
You've got to be able to know the issues at hand to really be able to make those kinds of decisions. So, I had the privilege actually last year when we were all back to school in the middle of the pandemic. I went back into the classroom and I actually had the privilege of being their son Blake's teacher in a permanent sub position. Wow. So I was really able to see, not only being friends with Todd, but really being able to really work one-on-one and collaborate as that parent and teacher relationship. And he was just seeing how involved and dedicated that he was, and being able to see Blake has made such strides over the years in his education, and it's just really important to have somebody with that passion and those first-hand experience making decisions that affect our children's education here in Florida. So.
Another thing, I think you obviously saw firsthand what it was like to be in the classroom, and what are the challenges that are facing teachers and educators, because as we know, Florida is one of the lowest funded states for education.
I mean, do we want to talk about challenges pre-COVID or post-COVID?
Exactly.
But funding is a huge one. I feel like, so I went back into the classroom this past year and took these long-term sub jobs where you got paid beginning teacher pay.
Yeah.
And lucky for me with my other business and having a husband, I didn't have to rely on my salary teaching to put food in the mouths of my children. And for friends of mine that were single parents trying to support themselves and their children on a teacher's salary, it's no wonder that people are leaving the profession. I mean, I am one that left the profession because it's very difficult.
Yeah, teachers are facing so many challenges, but I think it's important that we're here tonight to talk about supporting Todd. That he's going to be a voice for education, a voice for teachers and for students of all backgrounds, and I think that's really important, that representation. So I'm happy you shared your story tonight.
Thank you. I'm happy.
If you need any amazing photography, go to Courtney's website, which would be
CourtneyStudios.com.
That's right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I was really excited when Todd told me that he was running for state office. I met Todd several years ago serving together on the City of Hollywood Citizen Sustainability Advisory Committee, and our sons also go to the same public school in Hollywood. I could see that Todd was very committed to volunteering his time on the Sustainability Committee and contributing his knowledge and his interest, particularly with helping businesses to become more sustainable. He is always incredibly open and enthusiastic about learning everything he can about the topic we're discussing, whether it be plastic pollution, climate, trees, renewable energy, rain barrels, beach ecology. He wants to fully examine the issue and understand all of the details, and then work to find solutions to the problem. He's thoughtful, he listens, and he wants to help, and that's really what you want in a representative. I've hosted and participated in hundreds of beach cleanups, and one of my personal missions is to reduce single-use plastics at the source. Todd has been fully on board to help out with this mission in our city, helping to pass policies to reduce plastic where we can. He has really helped Hollywood move forward. Unfortunately, like other cities in Florida, our hands are tied in many ways by Tallahassee because we don't have local control over many issues, including reduction of plastic pollution. I know that Todd would work to repeal these preemptions. Todd also sees firsthand the effects of sea level rise here in Hollywood, and I know that he'll be dedicated to reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and protecting our coastal communities. I know that Todd will be a knowledgeable and caring voice in Tallahassee, representing the values that we both share and fighting for the environment.
Well, welcome back, and I'm happy to introduce, we have a small business owner here from downtown Hollywood, Mark Rowe, who's the owner of the world-famous Mickey Burns in downtown Hollywood. It's been here for 13 years.
13 years.
13 years, going strong. We are happy to kind of discuss tonight. Todd, as a candidate, is also involved in the Downtown Hollywood Business Association.
100%.
You are the president of?
Yep.
For how many years?
I've been president now for going on 3 years, I think it is. I've known Todd for probably 4 or 5 years. Got to know him through Downtown Business Association. You know, and to be honest with you, I'm not I try to stay out of politics.
Yes.
Because, you know, Irish pubs is like, you know, the Vatican. We're not, we stay away from.
Nonpartisan.
But, I'm so impressed with Todd, the way he manages to bring the community together, especially like small businesses are very hard to wrangle together because everybody is so busy doing everything. Yeah. And, you know, there's different, downtown Hollywood is like, it's an eclectic group of restaurants, bars, real estate, lawyers, opticians, everything. And, you know, Todd manages to bring everybody into the same room, get everybody talking and working together. So I have to say, like, he's been a great, you know, joining force for downtown Hollywood.
That's great. That's great. You know, obviously, as a small business owner, there's many challenges. The pandemic has heightened many of those.
100%.
What do you think Todd will bring to Tallahassee to speak on behalf of small business owners? What are the challenges that are facing you that you want, you know, to say that Todd can help with?
You know what? The great thing about Todd is he's very, you know, very intelligent, well-spoken individual, but he's also very practical-minded, like, you know. So he can talk to me, an Irish guy, immigrant, about, you know, my problems, but he can also talk to, you know, a doctor about his problems and you know, relate to everybody, like, you know. So
absolutely,
he can talk to people up this level, and then he can talk to the likes of us down here. I think anyway, like, you know.
Well, we're excited. We're partnering with you also. You've supported the Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council, which we're very, very fortunate of. You're a big organizer here in downtown Hollywood. We have a big event coming up, Hollyweird, which is one of the biggest events that you help do.
Yep.
And so we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have your support. And again, if you're a small business owner and you want to support Todd, please make a donation. And we're really happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you very much. And you know, it's very important, you know, for us to have a voice, for small businesses in general to have a voice. And we need people that, you know, can speak for us, like, you know.
Well, Todd's that person, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
I'll get to have a beer later, hopefully after, with you.
We might have two.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to need one.
dura. Recuerda que la vida es una y hay que vivirla. Olvídate de las penas y vive con alegría, que hoy es el día para que bailes y disfrutes con mi canción. La orquesta está tocando al son del tambor. La rumba ha comenzado, te invito a bailar. Ahora yo vengo con mi sabor. Para que baile mi gente. Ya se ha formado el ambiente. Para que roce el bailador. Y a ti te canto con mi sabor. Para que baile mi...
And talented Melina Almodovar.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Welcome. Just for those of you out there who are watching us, Melina's a live performance and recording artist, and she has worked in the arts and design professional in event planning, management, customer service, MC, strategic planning. She does it all, and she sings.
I try.
Which is why we're super happy to have you here tonight. You're also the organizer for the Hollywood Salsa Festival, which is coming up on April 9th.
Yes.
And you also do the North Beach Salsa Festival?
Yes, the Miami Beach. Yeah, Miami Beach Salsa Fest.
Awesome, awesome.
It's coming up in November 7th, so we're really excited.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Finally.
So, we're here tonight to talk about Todd, obviously, and to help raise money for his campaign. Tell me a little bit about, why you support Todd and, what drew you to Todd when you spoken to him?
Well, actually, I just met him.
Yes.
And I also work with other people in their campaigns. And, I was just taken aback with his passion for what he believes in. And I'm just here supporting him. And he asked me to come sing for his birthday.
Absolutely.
We hit it off right away. And, I actually just met him like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I love everybody from Hollywood. Hollywood's an amazing town. And I want to be part of his campaign. I want to be part of his message. And that's why I'm here. Yes.
Well, we're here. It's Hispanic Heritage Month
Yes.
also. So,
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. What are the issues you think that are facing the Latino community that you think are important that you want to have Todd, bring to Tallahassee?
Of course, there's so many things. Immigration being one of them. Of course, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't really have to deal with immigration because we're part of the United States. But there are a lot of things that have to do with Puerto Rico and becoming a state and all of those things that are really important to me as a Puerto Rican. And I really think that me being a woman and as a minority, I think Todd can really help that part of the demographic with his message to the people. So I'm really I want to support him with everything that we have. And I urge all of you to do the same. And I'm really excited to be part. I'm surprised he asked me to be part.
We're super happy you're going to sing tonight because they asked me to do everything besides sing. So thank goodness.
Oh, but you
don't
take care of everything but sing.
I'm like, if the singer cancels, don't call me.
Great job. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this, and everyone out there, stay tuned. We're going to have some fabulous entertainment coming up.
Bye.
Garbage disposal leaks, we get you paid. Electrical fire, we get you paid. Shower pan leak, absolutely, we get you paid. Hurricane and storm damage, we get you paid. When you've got damage in your home from a leaking pipe to a destroyed roof, Triumph Consulting is here to get you paid. We're here to fight for your insurance claim through the entire process and get you paid. Call Triumph Consulting 954-592-7162 or visit us at WeGetYouPaid.com.
WeGetYouPaid.com.
So welcome back, and I'm very fortunate, and so are all of you who are watching. We have Sean Murray here of Triumph Consulting. Sean is also our broadcast sponsor tonight. So first of all, thank you, and thank you for showing your support for the campaign and having your company stand behind Todd in such a strong way. You have known Todd for, I believe, over 15 years.
Yes.
You and your wife are very, very close friends with Todd, and you're a business owner as well. Tell me just a little bit about why Todd, why is he the candidate for District 100?
In all honesty, when I heard Todd was actually doing this, I was just absolutely thrilled. He is a charismatic man. He pours everything that he does into what he does. He's so easy to get behind. He just join and be a part of, because he does a great job and he cares and he wants to make the world a better place. And I knew that 15 years ago, and I know that now. And so when he told me, I was happy to get behind him.
Obviously, you're a business owner. Todd is a business owner. We've been asking people, what are the issues that we need to escalate to Tallahassee that Todd can speak on behalf of business owners? What are the issues that you think are the most important for you for your business?
For me and my business, I think that making sure that people are properly cared for after they have an unfortunate loss, like an insurance claim or property damage, make sure that they're able to get the money from the insurance company. Right now, we're seeing a lot of coverages go down and insurance policy premiums go up. So you're getting less coverage, but you're paying more, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I know Todd's going to help make a good fight to make you have more coverages again.
I mean, it couldn't be more of an important topic. We're in a coastal district. Every single voter in this district is facing the issues of climate change, and our rising insurance costs are
through the roof.
Flood insurance is a huge issue. But you're right. I think the regulation of the insurance industry and what type of services they're providing for the policies is a big issue that has never been addressed.
Yeah.
I mean, every governor we get keeps saying they're going to reform the insurance industry, and it doesn't happen. What would you say, again, for someone who doesn't know Todd, about his leadership skills? Obviously, you said he's very charismatic. What would you say will make him a good leader, and to tell anybody out there who doesn't know him?
I'd say get to know him a little bit. Spend 10 minutes with him. Spend 10 minutes listening to him, and you'll see why he's the right person for the job, why he's the one to go forward and actually lead us in this district. So I'd say just give him a small chance, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, listen to him. And you'll hear what I hear and see what I see.
I think you realize, there's a lot of candidates, and as you meet people through life and you see people that are running for what reasons, and Todd is definitely someone who is the real deal.
Yeah.
He walks the walk and talks the talk, and he does what he says. And that's one of the most important things, I think, of anybody, business or politics.
Especially politics.
Especially politics. Yeah. And he's here for the right reasons, which I'm grateful for. Well, I know you and your wife also own a yoga studio as well. Is that here in Hollywood?
It's actually in Oakland Park. It's called Day Space. It stands for Dance, Art, Yoga Space. Although we have much more, everything from sound healing to kirtan to Reiki masters to aerial yoga. We're in one of the only Art Deco buildings in Broward County. We'd love to everybody come by and check us out.
Well, your main business, again, it's Triumph Consulting. Is their website? You want to plug really quick?
For sure. It's wegetYouPaid.com.
Well, I know I have personally referred you people to work with who have been very, very happy, and we appreciate you doing this broadcast sponsorship, because we literally couldn't be here without you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Todd, and enjoy your evening.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
I'm Todd Delmay, and if this year has taught us anything, it's that the Florida legislature rarely focuses on the things that matter to us. Well, for some, it can be a very simple thing to get married. You go down to the courthouse and you fill out the paperwork. For us, it wasn't so simple. We had to fight for it. And we felt like our neighbors and our community didn't understand the real importance of marriage equality. We had to fight it in the legislature, and eventually we had to fight it in the courts.
I'm lifting this day.
And we had to put our life out there and on trial in order to get what we really deserved and what everyone in our community deserves. I'm running for the Florida House because it's time that we speak up boldly and passionately for our progressive values, that we lift up green jobs in our economy, that we address climate change along our coastal communities, and that we support strong public schools so that children like my son can get a great education. Well, the pandemic has been a real impact on our family. First, we saw it with our son. To see him separated from his classroom and his friends was really challenging. In terms of business, because I'm in the travel industry, we saw an immediate loss almost entirely of everything that our business was doing. But there are so many businesses like ours that was under 10 employees. These businesses are falling through the cracks because they don't have the kind of access that a larger business has. It doesn't feel like the legislature cares. They have their own priorities and they're not addressing the real needs of everyday citizens. And yet it's in moments like this when we need people to be even more engaged. You have to be able to pull people together, but you also have to be able to listen to what the other side is saying and to be able to find common ground. There's always common ground on any issue. It's a matter of how willing you are to work at it and to make it happen and to find it. I feel like I'm uniquely situated for this moment. Not only my experience in fighting for our core progressive values, my understanding of business and how that relates to the travel industry and all of the things that are important to our coastal cities, but also to my proven ability to speak up and speak out on civil rights issues. I've proven that I'm able to fight bad law and get it changed, get it overturned. And that experience, I think, is invaluable, makes me the right candidate for this moment.
Well, welcome back, and I want to take a few moments to thank everyone once again for supporting Todd's campaign. I want to first thank our sponsors for tonight. We're here at the lovely Schwa Hollywood and our chef Mimi, who is graciously allow us to do this event here tonight. So please come out and check out her wonderful restaurant. Our broadcast sponsor again is Triumph Consulting, and we really support, want to share their business with you as well. Home Instead was here tonight talking a little about the healthcare industry for home healthcare services. Special thanks to Mark Rowe from Mickey Burns for providing us with some beer tonight for the event. And again, the reason we're here and we're doing this event, and please share with your friends, whether they're here in District 100, in the state of Florida, or anywhere across the globe, representation matters. Todd is a candidate that is going to stand up for education, stand up for expanding healthcare, stand up for the LGBTQ plus community, and bring some change to Tallahassee that we believe we truly need here in Florida. So again, every donation counts. We want to make sure we get as many donations before as quickly as possible for the campaign, and we really appreciate everyone doing that for Todd and making this event a huge success. So thank you again for being here, and stay tuned for a birthday celebration for Todd.
How's everybody doing tonight? The goal of this evening is to have an evening as perfect as Todd Delmay's hair.
Wait.
So let's work on that.
Closer. Yeah, there you go.
So welcome, I am Francesca Diamore. I am your mistress of ceremonies tonight, and we're going to kick off the festivities with Melina Almodovar.
Hi. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi. Can you guys hear me? Everybody? Okay.
They'll only tell you to stop there last.
I'm really excited to be here tonight for Todd. I just met Todd and I'm really excited to be here. I'm a salsa singer, and he invited me. I just met him last week and he said, hey, will you come sing at my birthday? And I said, of course. So I'm so glad to see everybody here supporting Todd, and I'm gonna sing, an original salsa song. So I hope you guys enjoy it, okay?
What's your name?
Hola, Melina. He knows who I am. Come on, everybody, con las manos arriba. Come on, here we go. Llega la salsa. Yeah. All right, here we go. No te sientas con tristeza y amargura. Recuerda que la vida es una y hay que vivirla. Olvídate de las penas y vive con alegría, que es el día para que bailes y disfrute con mi canción. La orquesta está tocando al son del tambor. La rumba ha comenzado, te invito a bailar. Ahora yo vengo con mi sabor. Ya se ha formado el ambiente. Y aquí te canto con mi sabor. Esto se ha puesto es bueno, pero la salsa es la que alegra el corazón. Es un ritmo que te enciende, que contagia a todo el mundo. Ahora vengo a cantarles con todo mi sabor. That's right, everybody, put your hands up. Con la palma arriba, come on, everybody, a gozar. That's right, come on, let's hear it for Todd. Happy birthday, Todd. Y dice, suéltalo. That's right, let me see you shake it. Yeah. Porque se está tocando el son del tambor. La rumba ha comenzado, te invito a bailar. Ahora yo vengo con mi sabor. Ya se ha formado el ambiente. Y a ti te canto con mi sabor. Esto se ha puesto, mira, bien caliente. Come on, shake it. Todos tenemos problemas, días malos y días buenos, pero la salsa es la que alegra el corazón. Es un ritmo que te enciende, que contagia a todo el mundo. Ahora vengo a cantarles con todo mi sabor. That's right, everybody, let's hear it for Todd. ¡Que viva la salsa! That's right, here we go. La mega. La mierda está sonando y mi gente rumbeando. Yo vengo con mi salsa sabrosa, mira, sí señor. Encendida con mi sabor. Pa' que goce mi gente con tremendo rumbo. Agarra a tu pareja que es hora de bailar y gozar. La vida para gozarla. That's right, everybody, having a great time. Celebrating Todd's 50th. That's right, happy birthday, Todd. Happy birthday, Mr. Todd Delmay. That's right, Todd, come over here. Come over here, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Let's shake it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Come on, let me see you shake it, come on. Woo. That's right, yes. Un aplauso para Todd. Woo! Give it up for Todd, our new state rep. Dice, eso, olvídate de las penas, que es hora de gozar. Que no baila, no goza. Woo! Give it up for Todd. Oh my God, you're such a great sport. Wow. Thank you. Come on up, Francesca. Todd, wasn't that awesome? Shaking abilities. Wow, that was awesome.
Thank you, Melina. You were amazing. Good for Melina.
Thank you.
If you want to hear more from Melina, next year she will be performing with other performers at the Hollywood Salsa Fest.
Thank you for coming
April
over.
9th, 2022. It's actually around the corner. So we would like to thank all of our sponsors for the evening. Sean Murray and Triumph Consulting, Homestead Hollywood, Dina Pickett and Hannah Cook, Mark Rowe from Mickey Burns Pub, great place to go to. Hey Mark, our cake sponsor, and also It's Happening Out TV Network for doing such a great job of this evening. Also our event co-chairs, community leaders, elected officials, and the Schwa Restaurant. Isn't this a beautiful place, everyone? Give a round of applause for Schwa. Great place. Next, we're going to bring Sean Murray up. Sean is our broadcast sponsor, and he will introduce himself. Somebody taller than me. I love it. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you very much to Todd Delmay for bringing us all together here today, for putting a dream out there, for pursuing it, for doing something that he's passionate about, like everything that he does. For just putting himself out there to be seen and be seen in a great way. So just want to take a moment to thank our host, the reason we're all here today, to say happy birthday to Todd Delmay, and to wish everyone a wonderful night. Happy birthday, Todd.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Is that right?
Hold on to it.
Go ahead.
Let go. An amazing person in the community, and somebody I'm happy to call a friend.
Thank you, Francesca.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here. Hello, everybody. Wow, what a night, what a night. Welcome to Hollywood for everybody that's in the room. Hopefully, as the first spouse, gentleman, whatever, I guess you got to listen to me now. Listen to him, but then me. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you live and work and play in Hollywood, great to have you, neighbor. If you don't and you're here visiting, well, welcome. It's a wonderful place to be. Our district is a wonderful place to be, and Todd wants to make it even more wonderful. So we're so happy to have you here. So there's so much to say about Todd and about what he's doing in the community now and what he plans to do. But just a little bit about what's going on now with this campaign and what his plans are. I am fortunate enough, obviously, to be his husband. Yeah, woo! Married for 6 years, and as many of you know, we were the first gay couple in the state to get married legally. Really honored to have done that with Todd. I'm also fortunate to be his business partner and to be the treasurer of this great campaign, and also just to be a community leader with Todd and to do community advocacy. So one of the great things that we've accomplished with this campaign so far is that we've gotten the endorsement of Equality Florida, which is the largest LGBTQ plus organization in the state. So Todd really wanted to run for the seat in 2014, but decided not to run because we're doing the fight. We're fighting for the right to get married. So we joined the marriage equality case in 2015. So we decided to kind of put that on hold. So now is really the time. This was the best time to get all of this and to enter this race. Since then, Todd has built relationships for across the state with equality voters and donors, traveled to Tallahassee each year to advocate for our families and for our rights, served on Hollywood's Sustainability Advisory Committee, that he helped found, and is leading the LGBTQ plus Council, which is such a wonderful asset to our city. We have such great LGBTQ plus people here, living here, working here, playing here, and to have the council now that Todd is leading has been such a great, wonderful asset to our city. Todd played a key role in helping Hollywood increase its Municipal Equality Index, that's HRC, score from 49 out of 100 to 70 to 83, and later this fall, it's going to be even higher. So are we going to be at 100, I wonder? So Todd really led that charge, which is a great accomplishment. And he led updates to our non-discrimination protections across the city. Todd has been thoughtful and strategic about finding the right fit in his first campaign, which is why we're here. Equality Florida did something they've never done before in this fall, is when the 2021 score was announced, Equality Florida made the decision to endorse him earlier in the election cycle than any other candidate they've ever done that before. That's huge. Equality Florida they're really strategic about who they're going to endorse, and just because that might be an LGBTQ plus candidate does not mean that they're going to endorse that person. So we're really fortunate, and it says a lot that they did that early for Todd. Equality Florida is making this a highlight race, and they're all in to do whatever he can to do for Todd to win the case, or to win the campaign. So I'm the treasurer. What does that mean? I handle the money. That means we need money. Donations, donations, donations. First of all, thank you all for your donations. If you've done that, being here tonight, I'm sure you have donated something, and we're so fortunate and so thankful for that. As a treasurer, I need to ask you and tell you, we have aggressive goals. We've had aggressive goals from the beginning. Todd is the only candidate to raise $50,000 in his first month so far. He's pacing faster than any candidate in the race. He has the most individual donors of any campaign. Todd is focused on friends, family, and neighbors to carry this out thus far, but we need your help. And we aren't quite there yet. You might be thinking, you know what, we're 11 months away from the race, or from the election, right? So I can wait. I have plenty of time. But honestly, now is the time. We need the resources now to demonstrate that we're leading and continuing to draw more support on our side. If you haven't maxed out at your $1,000 per person, consider doing that now, tonight. Talk to us if you want to give even more. There is a way to do a monthly donation. So if you don't have, the $1,000 tonight, or you don't have the $500 tonight, we can spread that out monthly for you. The sooner we raise where we need to be, the sooner we have the resources to reach out to voters and deliver the message that Todd is our candidate, and that we're going to work really hard to get him elected as our next state representative. Round of applause for Todd. So before I bring Todd up, we're in the selfie age, right? It's 2021. So this restaurant is fabulous. I mean, there are such wonderful spots, such wonderful picture ops in the restaurant. So we have these wonderful church fans with my lovely husband's face. Please find one. They're scattered around the room. Find a selfie place. Shh. Very important, selfie spots. At the very front of the restaurant, at the entrance, there's a really wonderful place, wonderful space that says, "I'm in my happy place." Is that what it says? And when we saw that, when we walked into this restaurant, we knew this was the place to have this celebration. So take the fan and do your selfie spot, do your selfie out. So now let's get to the real important part of this evening. I want to introduce Todd Delmay. Todd is my husband, as we all know, and I am so honored to walk with him every day, whether he's running for Florida State Rep, or he's on the Sustainability Committee, or he's going to a council meeting, or we're just going to a mixer. I am so proud to walk with him and be with him. I am so proud to be married to him. I'm so proud to raise our son with him. And I couldn't ask for a better person, not only to be my husband, not only to be my partner, but to lead District 100 in Tallahassee. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Delmay.
Oops. Thank you. Do I need the microphone too? I need the mic. So if I've done anything right in the first 50 years of my life, it was marrying that guy, right? So, first of all, I am so grateful to each and every one of you who have come out tonight to support the campaign. You're each here because you've supported the campaign in some way and making donations and being a volunteer, and I am so grateful. I don't think I could have imagined that my 50th birthday party would have looked like this, but I'm so glad that it does because you're all here. You know, when I was growing up, I remember that there were times thinking about what I would do when I got older. I had the typical things where I would think I would go and serve my community, being a police officer, a fireman, a teacher, even a preacher. But I always thought maybe someday I would go into public service. And I remember being in college, and I met a guy who was a state rep or a state senator in Michigan. He was a closeted gay man who was living a life in fear. And he told me, he said, you don't want to go into politics because it'll be the most miserable existence. You'll constantly be looking over your shoulder, not being able to be your true, authentic self. And it's funny because the world around me was confirming that. In 1993, the military implemented Don't Ask, Don't Tell. In 1996, a Democratic president signed in the so-called Defense of Marriage Act. And so over the course of the years, as things have changed and I've been able to go on a different path, which I'm very grateful for because it's led me here tonight, it led me to my husband and to my family. But I look at this next moment and how we move forward. And it's interesting because I am so proud and so overjoyed that I'm able to actually put that personal story of who I am at the center of my campaign, that it isn't something I have to look over my shoulder or worry that a glance or a touch, right, would somehow upend my career or my chances. And I'm so grateful to put that at the center of the campaign. And as I go forward, it's interesting because as a candidate, the question that I get asked more often than anything is, why would you want to go to Tallahassee and be in the minority with a majority that does anything but things that are rational, right? That you're constantly beating up against a wall. But that question misses the point. Because it isn't just about the need to go to Tallahassee, and yes, we need to fight to make very bad law not so bad. We need to fight because we also need to fight for our constituents to make sure that we are representing everyone. We need to be representing people to bring everyone to the table. We need to be thinking about the future and how we build a bench of other candidates that can come together, that can lead us in the future. It's about bringing our neighbors together. We shouldn't just be coming into our neighborhoods in every other year, election years for the presidential years to try and get everybody together. We need to be organizing all the time. We need to be thinking about voting. We need to make sure that voting is the very center of what we're thinking and doing. And so tonight, as we look forward, I don't want to think just about the things that we have to fight against, but I want to think about the things that we're fighting for. We want to fight for an environment that is protected, that we're protecting our neighborhoods, right? And that we're protecting our homes against the effects of climate change and against hurricanes and all of the things that are coming. We should be fighting for an economy that works for everyone, where people get fair wages. We should be working for an economy where small businesses can get a fair shake. And we should be thinking about education. My son goes to a great public school here in Hollywood, and I'm so proud of that school, and we should make sure every child and every youth gets a great education. So tonight, again, as we look forward, I want you to think about this race. It's not just about winning this race. It's about winning that future. That future when we can elect more Democrats, we can change Tallahassee by changing the people that go to Tallahassee, and we can finally turn Florida blue. So if you're with me, please stick with me. It's a long campaign. Thank you for coming out tonight. I am so grateful and humbled, and let's go on. Let's win this thing, all right? Let's do it. I think I turned it off.
All right, everybody. So now we're going to join together and sing happy birthday to Todd, okay? So are we ready?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Todd. Happy birthday to you.
I want you to sit down there.
Go.
Yes.
Get a picture with the camera.
I have a car announcement. If anybody has a gray Jaguar parked behind the building, you have to move the car before it gets towed.
Yay! Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
All right, Todd. Happy birthday, Todd, everybody.
I'm Todd Delmay, and if this year has taught us anything, it's that the Florida legislature rarely focuses on the things that matter to us. Well, for some, it can be a very simple thing to get married. You go down to the courthouse and you fill out the paperwork. For us, it wasn't so simple. We had to fight for it. And we felt like our neighbors and our community didn't understand the real importance of marriage equality. We had to fight it in the legislature, and eventually we had to fight it in the courts.
I'm lifting the stay.
And we had to put our life out there and on trial in order to get what we really deserved and what everyone in our community deserves. I'm running for the Florida House because it's time that we speak up boldly and passionately for our progressive values, that we lift up green jobs in our economy, that we address climate change along our coastal communities, and that we support strong public schools so that children like my son can get a great education. Well, the pandemic has been a real impact on our family. First, we saw it with our son. To see him separated from his classroom and his friends was really challenging. In terms of business, because I'm in the travel industry, we saw an immediate loss almost entirely of everything that our business was doing. But there are so many businesses like ours that was under 10 employees. These businesses are falling through the cracks because they don't have the kind of access that a larger business has. It doesn't feel like the legislature cares. They have their own priorities and they're not addressing the real needs of everyday citizens. And yet it's in moments like this when we need people to be even more engaged. You have to be able to pull people together, but you also have to be able to listen to what the other side is saying and to be able to find common ground. There's always common ground on any issue. It's a matter of how willing you are to work at it and to make it happen and to find it. I feel like I'm uniquely situated for this moment. Not only my experience in fighting for our core progressive values, my understanding of business and how that relates to the travel industry and all of the things that are important to our coastal cities, but also to my proven ability to speak up and speak out on civil rights issues. I've proven that I'm able to fight bad law and get it changed, get it overturned. And that experience, I think, is invaluable, makes me the right candidate.